Like now, so you don't miss episode 24, where the love and determination of James and Tu Diep intertwine amid life's challenges, from simple moments of hard work on the farm to unwavering promises made in critical moments. Early in the morning, with dew still clinging to the rooftops, Tung woke up after a sleepless night, his eyes heavy with fatigue. In his heart, one thought still prevailed. Tu Diep. The girl he had once secretly adored was now caught in a whirlwind of rumors, feeling isolated and hurt. After hastily changing into his white shirt, he led his bike out of the gate, heading straight for Tu Diep's farm with a clear resolve. He had to see her, even if it was just to ask, "Are you okay?" At that very moment, in a small garden under the shade of a plum tree, James was already present. He sat across from Tu Diep, gently holding her hand with a calm, steady gaze. "I've already scheduled the doctor. Today we're going for a proper checkup, all right? I trust you, and I believe this is just a misunderstanding." His words touched the worries deep within Tu Diep's heart. She nodded softly, her eyes reflecting both emotion and unspeakable anticipation. As James and Tu Diep stepped out to get into the car, the sound of a motorcycle suddenly echoed at the gate. It was Tung, his eyes full of hesitation and his voice a bit breathless as he said, "Diep, I came to see you. I heard what's been going on and couldn't rest." James stepped forward, calm yet resolute. "Thanks for your concern, but today she's with me. You can come another time." Tung fell silent for a few seconds, glancing at James before turning to Tai, with an expression that concealed his disappointment. He nodded slightly and rode away. On his way back, his heart broke with the truth. The person Tai needed was James, not him. James took Tu Diep to the town clinic. After some quick paperwork, she was ushered into the ultrasound room. The wait for the results felt like an eternity. Finally, the doctor emerged with a smile. "She isn't pregnant. It was just a slight cerebral circulatory disturbance from stress." That news felt like a huge weight lifting off James's heart. He stepped forward and embraced Tu Diep tightly, to her astonishment. "I told you I trust you, and you've never let me down." She buried her head in his shoulder, laughing and crying at the same time. In that moment, all the misunderstandings and heartaches melted away. Afterwards, James took Tu Diep to the pharmacy, carefully asking about each medicine before bringing her home. On the ride back, the cool breeze swept over them, and the blue sky seemed to paint a fresh new beginning. Yet neither knew, despite the storm that had just passed, whether the sky was truly at peace. After so many days under pressure, surrounded by rumors and unanswered questions, for the first time, Tu Diep could take a deep, relieved breath. The doctor had confirmed that she wasn't pregnant. It had simply been a mistake. James had believed in her from the start, and now he wanted to do more to give her peace of mind. That morning, after stopping to buy some food, James drove Tu Diep out of town, along a narrow road leading into the woods, a place where only trees, gentle breezes, and tranquility existed. "Today, no one will bother you, it's just us," he said with a smile, his eyes tender, as if to erase every last worry from her. The car came to a stop in a clearing by the forest. Tu Diep got out, her feet touching the soft earth as the scent of wild grass filled her nostrils, soothing her soul. James opened the trunk and pulled out everything they needed: a cooking pot, canned food, a canvas tent, rope, and even a bundle of dry firewood. "Today, I want to cook for you. Okay?" Tu Diep nodded. Together they gathered some broken branches and large banana leaves to make a makeshift shelter. James guided her on how to weave the tent frame, and he beamed when she clumsily tied the ropes. "You're so handy, my dear," he teased. The playful remark made Tu Diep blush, and this time she didn't shy away. She laughed softly in return. After several attempts, with James patiently showing her how to rub two dry sticks together, a spark finally ignited, and the small flame flickered into life in her bright, sparkling eyes. They sat together, roasting a few sausages, sharing rice balls, and sipping bottled water. The forest around them seemed to embrace them, the chirping birds, rustling leaves, and whispering wind all offering gentle comfort. Watching Tu Diep enjoy her meal, James felt a deep sense of relief. She was smiling again, She was at peace. "We're like a newlywed couple on a honeymoon in the woods," James said playfully. Tu Diep burst out laughing, flicking a tiny droplet of water onto his cheek. "You're not supposed to say that if we're not even married yet." "Well, I'm getting into the mindset. All I need is your nod," he replied. They sat side by side amid the wild nature, their hearts growing closer than ever. The dark days were slowly passing, but could this peace last forever? The lively glow of the fire highlighted James's face as he carefully turned skewers of sausages over the red coals. The mouth-watering aroma filled the air and mingled with the soft, playful laughter of Tu Diep sitting nearby. She sat curled up on a spread-out banana leaf, watching James goof around like a kid. Yet inside, she felt an overwhelming sense of calm. "Try this, honey," James said, offering her the first skewer with a teasing tone. Tu Diep took it, bit into a piece, and wrinkled her nose. "It's burnt on one side, and you still boast about your cooking skills?" James laughed heartily. "I'm grilling only to see you smile. It doesn't have to be perfect." As dusk fell over the forest, the light from the fire and the small lanterns that James had hung gave their campsite the cozy feel of a military outpost. Tu Diep rested her head against James's shoulder while he gently squeezed her hand. "I'm sorry for everything my father said," he murmured. Tu Diep fell silent for a moment before slowly shaking her head. "It's all right. I understand he's just trying to protect his son. I'll protect my love too. By living well and never giving up." James looked at her for a long while, as if trying to etch her face into his memory. "When everything is clear, I know he'll understand. I'll take you to Dalat, or to the beach. Anywhere there's green, sunshine, and you." After their simple dinner in the woods, they cleaned up and then sat together, gazing at the stars, before James drove Tu Diep home. On the ride back, the silence between them wasn't cold. It was the comfortable quiet of two hearts that truly understand each other. Back at home, James gently kissed Tu Diep's forehead. "I have a meeting tomorrow, but I'll drop by later this afternoon," he said, before turning away, leaving Tu Diep watching until his car faded into the distance. She then returned to her daily routine, feeding the chickens and ducks, tidying up the yard, and brewing a pot of hot tea. Later that evening, Tu Diep sat at the bamboo table with an old book in hand. Its worn pages opened up another world where she was not the rejected daughter-in-law, but a woman learning to live, love, and grow stronger each day. Outside, night had fallen, yet in Tu Diep's heart, the light still burned, not from a lamp, but from hope. That morning at the office, James gently knocked on the meeting room door before stepping in. His father was already there, sitting with a cold, skeptical expression. James placed the file containing the official doctor's report on the table, and in a calm voice he said, "Dad, here is the official conclusion from the town doctor. Tu Diep isn't pregnant. The symptoms she experienced were just mild circulatory disturbances caused by a nurse's oversight that led to a misunderstanding." His father took the document and skimmed through the words, yet his face didn't soften. "But the rumors have already spread. Don't you think our family's reputation might suffer? Even a false rumor can shake our shareholders." James looked up with unwavering eyes. "I love Tu Diep, not to please others. If a rumor is enough for you to force me to leave the one I love, then I don't deserve to be by her side." The atmosphere in the room grew heavy. His father gripped his cup of tea tightly, his voice lowering as if each word weighed a ton. "If you want to remain in this company, you must choose. Either our family or her." James was silent for a few seconds before responding steadily. "Then I choose love. If need be, I can rebuild everything from scratch, but I cannot rebuild a person like Tu Diep." The discussion ended without resolution. James left the meeting room, his shoulders straight and his gaze unyielding. Yet as the door closed, his father sat in silent contemplation, his eyes flickering with a mix of doubt and bewilderment, the first time he saw his son mature beyond his control. That afternoon, James visited a well-known eyewear store in town. Lately, he had been suffering from headaches and blurry vision while working or driving at night. After a modern eye exam, the results revealed that his right eye was at 1.25 and his left the same. with a slight astigmatism of 0.5 diopters. When you don't wear glasses, it's hard to read license plates or work on screens for too long. We recommend that you wear them regularly, the consultant advised softly. James tried on several pairs before finally choosing a simple pair, priced at 700,000 VND, equipped with UV and blue light protection. He didn't opt for a color-changing or premium anti-glare type, just something simple, practical, and comfortable. Standing before the mirror with his new glasses, James's face looked sharper, not only in his vision, but also in his resolve. He was a man who knew what was important to him, and even if he had to see the world through glasses, his inner vision remained crystal clear. Early in the morning, with dew still coating the tall Ly trees, Tu Diep wrapped a patterned scarf around her shoulders and clutched a knife as she quietly made her way through the dense brush. She selected only the straight, sturdy stems, just dry enough to be used as brooms. Her face shone with renewed brightness after all the hardships. Her focused eyes and skillful movements seemed to sweep away her inner sorrows with every stroke. A motorcycle's sound echoed from afar. James appeared, a neatly tied bag of fruit riding along behind him. He smiled and said, "Already working at dawn." His familiar voice made Tu Diep turn and smile. She invited him inside for a drink. They sat at the bamboo table, accompanied by a small dog dozing quietly nearby. Tu Diep said, "I'm planning to revamp the farm, to build a fence using cassava plants so the chickens and ducks don't wander off." "Let me help," James replied immediately, without hesitation. Soon, the two of them headed into the woods to cut down cassava stalks and load them onto a pickup truck. James drove while Tu Diep sat beside him, both laughing as one lengthy cassava stalk had to stick out of the truck. Later, while building the fence, their hands became covered in mud but their eyes sparkled with joy. Sweat streamed down their foreheads, yet neither complained, because they knew they were building something far more enduring than just a wooden barrier. They were building a home. Taking a break under a tree, James confided, "My mother passed away when I was in junior high. My dad remarried, but I never really bonded with my stepmother. Even though she cared, it never felt like home." Tu Diep gently placed her hand over his. "I lost my parents when I was young too. I know that feeling. Loneliness, feeling out of place. Then, someone came along, held my hand, and made me feel protected." James gazed at her for a long time, his eyes tender like a twilight forest. "If you are the sun, then I'm the earth. No matter how many times I revolve, I can't drift away from you. Even if the world were to end, I will keep loving you." Tu Diep choked up. All she could do was look at him with shimmering eyes. "Thank you for changing my life. From being treated like disposable, unworthy of love, I've come to realize that I deserve to be loved." They sat together under the warm glow of a yellow lamp in the small shanty. No more words were needed, yet every glance and every gesture whispered one undeniable truth. Love had finally found its way home.
Diệp bắt đầu ngày mới với những bước chân chậm rãi nhưng đầy kiên định. Cuộc sống cô, một người phụ nữ từng bị gò bó trong đau khổ, giờ đây đã có chút ánh sáng nhờ sự xuất hiện của CEO James, người đàn ông giàu có với trái tim ấm áp. Nhưng khi tình yêu thương đã tưởng chừng đã chạm đến trái tim cô, một bóng đen từ quá khứ lại hiện về, kéo theo những nghi ngờ và nỗi sợ hãi. Liệu trái tim Diệp có đủ dũng cảm để đón nhận hạnh phúc, hay cô mãi bị giam cầm trong chính những vết thương lòng không lành? Câu trả lời nằm trong những giờ khắc cảm xúc của tập 13 này. Chúc các bạn nghe truyện vui vẻ. Diệp đứng giữa cánh rừng thưa, nơi những chiếc lá rong xanh mướt rủ xuống như những tấm rèm tự nhiên. Ánh nắng đầu ngày xuyên qua tán cây, chiếu lên khuôn mặt cô những vệt sáng mờ nhạt, làm nổi bật đôi mắt trầm buồn. Hôm nay cô quyết định đi hái lá rong để bán. Một công việc đơn giản nhưng đủ để cô cảm thấy mình còn giá trị trong cuộc sống đầy bất ổn này. Trong lòng cô, một ý nghĩ lặp đi lặp lại.